pensée. This is a thought about the conceptual age. How do they teach art in Russia compared to art here? What's the essential difference?
The essential difference is that people are able to start earlier, and they're teaching them technical skill levels. Like here, in like this class maybe, it's more about, okay, go out, we're going to immerse you in, okay, your thing is to paint this area. Do it.
Yeah, so that's what you see out there.
And it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, whatever that means, good or bad. It doesn't matter. It's all about the experiential aspect of it and the concept involved. Where in the East, it's about there's a standard to achieve. And because you are achieving realism in this standard, then when you develop as an adult, you have that technical ability, just like everyone that was famous that we all learn about in art history.
Picasso knew how to draw. It wasn't that he was unskilled.
It wasn't his choice. Yeah, it was the way the world was. It was that you learn this, and then that's what made Picasso and those people so fundamentally great, is that they had that ability, and then they go out and they conceptualize with that skill level. So you know how to do math, and then you can do you can do much higher level of problematic whatever, because you know those skills of how to do addition, subtraction. We're doing okay, show me how to do a formula in statistics, but you don't know how to add or subtract. That's where we're at.
Wow.
That's where we're at. So
that's the comparison.
People, your average person in the street that thinks art is a fruity whatever, because they have no connection to it, because they think it's all a sham. It's the emperor's new clothes.
I can see somebody who can't actually draw, and yet he's getting thousands for the bashed up car that he's assembled as a sculpture.
Right. And ironically, there's this knit group that people perceive as the art whatever establishment of art people that they only get it, you are all. It's a dichotomy of, well, you can't understand it because you're not intellectual enough.
Correct.
We are, but the reality is they don't understand it either, because there needs to be a process. It's like with math, there's a standard. With science, there's a standard. There used to be a standard within art, with the academy. There is no longer a standard in this country.
Have you heard of the 10,000 hours, the Malcolm Gladwell idea?
No.
That if you do something for 10,000 hours, that's how you become an expert. The Beatles formed as a group, but it was when they went to Hamburg to play at sex clubs. They were basically the cover band. And they literally played for 13 hours at a stretch for 8 months.
Wow.
That's when they became a band, because you played so much, you became good, and you hear each other, and and they were playing cover songs as well as throwing in some of their stuff, and guess what? They got good.
Yeah. How about that? I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
And this is what Gladwell does. He's got 4 books. Blink. Outliers. You want to look at outliers, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Right. Well, because you're one, I'm one, he's one, right? So we tend to attract each other. Skewness. I like it. Right. Then there's outliers, blink. It's not like the turn of the screw. No, tipping point. Tipping point. And so these are items that, added with this information you're giving me, it supplements my understanding of where art is in the curriculum, because that's what Pink is telling us.
That's why it's supplementary. That's why they don't see it as critical, because it's like, what is it? How do we measure it?
It's non-essential, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's nice if you can have it, right?
Yeah.
So Pink, basically, the entry point here is just to try to get into abundance, Asia, and automation. If you just started there, said these are the 3 ways to succeed in you have to build whatever project you're doing. Can it be sold in an abundant place?
Okay.
Can you get Asia to do it?
To
produce it.
Okay.
And can you automate
so then you don't have to pay people as high of a rate.
Well, and also that's he basically points out that there's emotional content, that being able to tell what the emotions are here is something that your right brain is good at, but your left brain can't process. If you,
So the autism plays a role in that because they would not be able to understand that with those facial expressions and the social interaction.
Now, the sort of key things, I do entry points by here. Here's his key point. Why is it that someone who already has a toilet brush would go and buy this from Target? And why would they pay so much? This is a toilet brush, which is $6. You can buy one cheaper, but because it has Michael Graves' name on it, we're going to buy this. Right. And so this is the key point about abundance. In an abundant society, people upgrade.
Because they see some inherent benefit.
Right. Yeah. And here's this Asia thing. Why not get somebody? You can get all 4 of those people working for you for the cost of one person. So, there should be, if it can be moved over there, move it. There's other work that can be done here. And he distinguishes between left brain and right brain activity. Left brain being the sequential sort of things that can be reduced at counting numbers. But the big picture design stuff, that comes from culture. You have to know the U.S. culture, so that would be done over here.
Over here.
And so the other things that, here's his bing, bing, bing.
Right.
This is the second thing to get into.
That's
so you start being able to see that we're no longer in the information age. Okay. And,
I like that. Yeah. Development of man, huh?
Right. We're all becoming artists.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Ken Robinson?
I know.
The TED Talk? Ken Robinson's the guy with the TED Talk, who basically says, do schools kill creativity?
Oh, okay.
Because when you walk in, you ask, who likes to draw? 5-year-olds, everybody raises their hand.
Sir Ken Robinson, he was just at FAU. The RSA Animate, where the guys are doing, absolutely.
Yeah, so you think that.
Yeah, but that's how antiquated education is in the old factory system.
Right. So when are we going to get it so every parent has seen that? Have you brought your child, you have not seen Ken Robinson?
Show them that. That's something's wrong.
Well, we're saying that this school,
something wrong.
This school is going to be different. Well, I mean, essentially every school, you wouldn't even be hired at a school if you hadn't adapted his talk to your lesson plans and say, this is how I mean, wouldn't that be the way to hire?
You're saying ideally.
Well, because ideally, that's what we're going to do. I mean, in this transformed education system that you and I have in our mind. Well, I live, if wherever I walk, I carry Ken Robinson.
Right.
I carry this stuff.
Right.
And so whatever they tell me to do, I'm still doing this, which is why I'm not working right now.
So I think it is all going to change for us because there's inherent quality to it that everyone realizes at some level. Like what you're saying, it's not just
design matters.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Right? Because if they had just put this as a list, well, in the sense that if
it didn't work out for us.
If those arrows, if they had just had one long page, you would have selected the right person. But some people were selecting, instead of Al Gore, they were hitting Pat Buchanan. So that's the third point for you to enter, because that tells everything. And the one thing that changes all, start reading design magazines, keeping a design notebook. And that's what I require all my students. You want to get full credit in this course, you'll start keeping a notebook. And you can use your smartphone. Take a picture of things.
Digital notebook that way too. Yeah.
Just take pictures of things that are attractive. I mean, it may not be that, but maybe it's something there that means something to you.
And then you guys discuss why, maybe.
Right. Why do you have that on your mobile phone?
Right.
That's the sort of thing. So this
design ignorance is a humongous thing in adults in this country.
Well,
that's why we have a lot of metal buildings for everything.
This is great. So you don't have to get through the whole book right away, but he's got videos that explain this. And plus, he's given enough small talks so you can pull them off and have them on audio CD. So,
very cool.
thank you very much for introducing me to the vocabulary of how art is taught.
There's actually a lot of great research if you can get access to like JSTOR or
JSTOR. Yeah. Aaron Swartz. You remember him?
No.
He's the guy who opened up JSTOR.
Okay.
And of course, MIT found him. He was prosecuted, right, under threat of prosecution, and he committed suicide. So
how about that? Oh, see, that's much more interesting.
The way, right. So the way I look at it is that anytime you talk about a terabyte, this says 4 gigs. 250 of these is 1 Swartz.
Okay.
1 terabyte.
Okay.
But in honor of Swartz, I'm calling it terabyte because that's what he gave.
Really?
He gave terabytes of JSTOR. Oh yeah, he opened it up.
Wow.
He opened it up, and of course they found out about it.
Yeah.
Right.
But no one's making money off of that. Right? I mean, that's just the JSTOR is a place where you...
It's not the professors.
Yeah. Yeah, no.